That was just silly, blood. Silly and immature.
Oh, come on. Everyone loves the tree of irony thing.
Nah, mate, it was funny once, right? Once, like 10,000 years ago. You ever heard of originality?
Whatever. It was funny.
Mate, you is whack.
The witch Adria's got the amulet that I'm looking for that fell from the sky. Interested in helping?
Look, Sunshine, all I'm interested in right now is sleeping. Now I'm gonna go to sleep. You can be here or you can go away. I don't care. But I'm sleeping. Understood?
Uh-huh.
Good.
Wake up! Wake up!
Two things. One, if you're gonna talk to me about last night, I'm not interested. Two, this better be important.
That's definitely the same thing twice.
What do you want?
You know what I want, sweetheart.
Look, I'm sure there's something more important we should be doing, like chasing a witch, but all I'm interested with now is not sodomy. It was a dark and stormy night, and the snow was falling down so hard that no one could see 3 foot in front of their faces. Then something completely random happened. 2 men and a Chesterfield sofa
You were going to say that.
appeared out of nowhere into the middle of this field, along with 3 cricket commentators who were completely perplexed by the entire event and just kept going on about West Midlands versus the West Indies back in the day. Then one of the men fainted because he realised he had a bone in his beard. And he didn't even know he had a beard. He hadn't realised because he'd been on the prehistory of his planet for the last 4 years, and that 2 million years before he was born, and his timeline was a bit fucked up. But the other guy was completely cool because he'd done the whole time travelling thing
This is some
so
imagination.
much. No, this is Douglas Adam. It was a dark and stormy night, and the snow was driving down, and it was wrapping the clouds in the sky. And Egan, whose brother was a policeman, whose other brother was a policeman, and whose sister was a policeman, as I previously mentioned. His dad was a policeman, his granddad was a policeman, his great aunt was a policeman, you get the idea, his kids were policemen. But his one granddad was a bank robber, and he had died recently, surrounded by his family. And so Egan decided to find the treasure that his great-grandfather had buried somewhere. And everyone thought that he was stupid, that this treasure just didn't exist. But it does exist. And that's how he got the epithet gullible, because he was given a map to find this treasure. And he believed in it. He believed in it with his heart. And I'm telling you, he didn't find nothing. Admittedly, he didn't find the treasure, but he didn't find nothing. What he found was the skeleton of his great-grandfather, buried by his old crew of the bank robber, which was, of course, the name of the ship, not his profession, because we don't have banks as such. And basically, it was encrusted with jewels, and no one knows how they got there, because they did what they could to examine the body, and it looks like the jewels were grown into the bone.
Oh, good morning. Sleep well, I hope.
Yes, thank you. It's nice to do some chillaxing. Some what, dear? Never mind. So what's for breakfast around here?
Well, since Killian is paying, I was thinking...
Killian hasn't paid for a thing in his life. Between that and these crazy stories of him, it's a wonder he doesn't get kicked out more often.
I've seen you stop and listen to those crazy stories more than once, and if I were you, I wouldn't be so keen to dismiss them as nonsense. There is more out there than just the next village, and stranger things in this world than Alec Mawson's apple pie.
My husband's always been a dreamer. That's why I love him. Seriously though, if that woman does offer you any pie, don't take it. You only have her word, there's apples in there. How did you two meet? Did it leave like a bitter taste in your mouth? The pie, not the meeting.
There's really not much to tell about either of those. About the pie because Only Alaka Morgan knows. And about us, because it's simple. I came from out of town to set up this place. She came along and delivered some food on our very first day. We haven't looked back.
So what Captain Killian said about the king being cursed wasn't all a lie?
What would we know? All we do is surveil and smile at the customers. Oh, speak of the devil.
Don't listen to him, he's an innkeeper. They hear all sorts of things.
I trust that I am the handsome devil of which you speak.
Well, the devil part's true. But we hear all sorts of stories in here. Most of it's nonsense.
But not all of it. Anyway, Adrienne might have told you not to believe my stories, but she can't deny that the public haven't seen the king for a year now.
Well, it's all set for an adventure if you ask me. A magical land with the royalty on the verge of collapse. An handsome prince trying to save the day. All it needs is for me to get captured by this witch and then he can come and save me.
You're more of a dreamer than this old lump.
Well, thank you for your hospitality. I think I'll stay for today, then head home. I'd best be getting back. Are you just going to let her get away with that comment?
I told you, Eden the peacemaker as always. Well, if you're leaving, we better get out there and make the most of it.